Hello, class. My name is Brijan Durance, and I will be informing you about addiction. My purpose is for you to understand and know what addiction is, and how it can ruin your life, and how it could possibly end your life. Addiction is a condition of being addicted to a substance, thing, or activity. This topic is important because every day, every hour, every minute, every second, someone is getting addicted to something that's not good for them, and we are losing our loved ones, friends, family, people we don't really know, and just people in the world general because they're being addicted and they're catching an addiction to something that's not good for their body. So there are different types of addiction. You have prescription drug addiction, alcohol addiction, and drug addiction. Now, doctors prescribe us with stuff far as medicine, and sometimes people can use that for abuse because they like the way that it's feeling, so they want to keep taking it over and over again, and that's where you go wrong. Now, if a doctor prescribes you something and they tell you how many you're supposed to take, you're supposed to take that many or how much or whatever the case may be. People experiencing addiction have lack of self-control, unable to stay away from whatever they're getting pulled back into. They don't care about how their actions affect on others. People Sometimes people forget that they have loved ones. When people get addicted to something, it's something that's making them feel good outside of love and family. That's what family is for. You're here to protect and make sure everyone is okay with each other. So when you do that, you some people might not care, but then the people who do care, they want to make sure that you're good and they want to get you back on the right track. Now, people who are and do have an addiction, you can see it in that person because their levels of anxiety increase. They start blaming other people for their actions, and they having trouble identifying their feelings and how they feel because they don't want to open up. Now, by them blaming other people for their actions, that's something that you don't want to go through. So that's a that's not just something that doesn't make you that doesn't sit right with you. So there are four stages of addiction, which is experimentation, which is what you want to try, and people who get addicted to something, they're experimental. They like to try new things to figure out how this is or how that is. They don't care about what other people would say. If they see you doing something, they're going to want to try it. So the four stages of addiction are experimentation, social or regular, problem or risk, and dependency. So now that you know about what addiction is and how it starts off, how it starts off, there are different types of drugs. People People who have addiction, they'll use heroin, cocaine, DMT, margarina, which is also known as weed, which in some places is legal. I don't know how I necessarily feel about that, but having an addiction, there are several things that can go wrong. First of all, addiction takes away your money. People who spend their People spend lots and lots of money on things that damages their body. It's sad to see people on the street or homeless people, and it's sad to give them money and they go use that money for drugs. They go use that money for drugs, and most people who are homeless, they have an addiction to something that's not good for their body. So people they take away your money, it ruins your health, it ruins your mind. Addiction sometimes has a control over your whole body. It first starts in your mind, and then it's like you need it, you need it, you need it, you need it, you need it. So that's it's it's something about self control. You have to know when to stop. You have to know when to stop, and just all of it. So you have they take away your money, ruins your mind, ruins your health. It changes who you are as a person. It could cause you to go to jail, and it could kill you. So now that you know about that, overdose symptoms, you can start feeling hot or sweaty, cold, or dry. You can start having chest pain, which causes heart and lung damage, and your blood pressure can go up. You can start throwing up. You can start throwing up blood, which is very common for people who are taking drugs. They start throwing up blood, and you can end up in a coma. So it's sad to say that there are people who have an addiction, and if they take that drug, and when they lay down, it's not 100% chance that you will wake up. So that is why addiction, you shouldn't get addicted to drugs, because that can cause addiction, that can ruin your health, ruin your mind. It can change the way people look at you. You can draw family members away because of your addiction.